What is going on, crypto fiends? Thank you as always for tuning into the channel. Today we have a very special guest, Jordan Freed from NFTcom. Jordan, how are you doing today?
Ryan, I'm great. Happy to be on Crypto Fiend talking about NFT.com.
Wonderful. Well, first off, I do want to mention that the NFT.com domain name is very significant. Although some might think of it as just a subtle thing, I feel like that definitely helps enhance you guys overall with what you're trying to do. I've been working with Crypto.com for a couple years now, and before their brand change from Monaco, they were definitely having some struggles with getting awareness and stuff like that. And then once they swapped to crypto.com, that's really when they began to see, everything flourish.
You know
So
you're an OG if you know what you just said. So I,
I,
I remember the Monaco ICO. I was
I,
long enough to be in the space.
I appreciate that. But with that, with NFT.com, the domain specifically, do you see that giving you guys an advantage? Um, And also, are you willing to maybe tell us how much it cost to get that domain?
Yeah, I'm happy to share. I think, maybe we'll leave it as like a cliffhanger, but I'll share the number before the end of the episode. So keep
Cool.
listening,
Yeah, you guys
right?
have to stay
Attention.
tuned.
Funny, I lost crypto.com. For those that follow me on Twitter,
Oh,
if you don't, at Jordan Freed, shameless plug there. But I actually was one of the bidders for crypto.com while Monaco was trying to acquire it. It's a bit of a chip on my shoulder because I lost it. And I lost it in a very public way. In fact, the owner of it, Matt Blaze, literally tweeted at me to stop contacting him because it wasn't for sale, is what he said to me. Turns out I just didn't offer him enough money or enough tokens because he sold it, and he sold it to the Monaco team, which rebranded. And it has entirely changed the trajectory of that project. I remember first reading the Monaco white paper and when they first raised money, and I totally threw it to the side because honestly I didn't love the brand. No one remembers Monaco. Only, they only remember crypto.com,
hmm
which frankly uses that same Monaco feature set, but just with a marquee brand. Crypto.com, blockchain.com, bitcoin.com. Branding is so important. When we were starting with what we wanted to build, we knew that you couldn't just call it Jordan's NFT marketplace. You couldn't just call it, some made up word. We really wanted the brand. We wanted the name, and we wanted to be the spot. And I think NFT.com was totally worth it. Um, I'll share the acquisition price now because I don't want to be too much of a tease, right? But I paid $2 million for that domain name.
wow.
It was, at the time it was the most expensive domain name I've ever purchased, but I've purchased a lot of domain names before. I'm lucky enough to own, my last name is spelled like fried, but my name's Jordan Freed. It's just
hmm
spelled Fried. And I own fried.com. Sam Bankman Freed, if you're listening, it's not for sale. Sorry. But no, I just love that, right? It was like, I want to own it. And in fact, I bought it so long ago that I've been contacted by fast food chains and lots of people trying to buy that for many, many, many multiples of what I paid for it, over seven figures. I've, purchased CBDC.com, central bank digital currency. And no, I'm not starting a marijuana business. I really believe in central bank digital currency. So I've never flipped a domain name. I've always been on the side of, I believe that really good brand domain names and exact match domain names are really great tools to build businesses on top of. So really proud to have this one. I do like to say, Ryan, I don't want people to think of NFT.com as Jordan's or belonging to any one company. NFT.com is going to be a DAO. It is going to be run by creators for creators. So it's ours. It's too good of a domain to belong to one person. If we control it together and everyone can mint a piece of it, I'll talk about that in a second. I think it's just so much more powerful than, one dude in his 30s owning it.
That's amazing. Now, let's hear a little bit about yourself. From the research I did, you grew the fastest personal VPN service, Buffered VPN. You're currently the CEO of Immutable Holdings. And the most notable that I saw is you received a lifetime ban from RuneScape at 13.
RuneScape?
Oh, absolutely. I played back in the day. I actually have some buddies that still play on the regular. But yeah,
Oh
of
man,
course.
I don't, at the time it wasn't a brag. At the time I was crying. I was 12 years old. And like my whole life was RuneScape back then. I
Absolutely.
mean, it wasn't just that, like it was my business. I had macros on 5 different computers, literally playing the game for us while we were at middle school, just leveling up characters. I really was very active on runehq.com
Mm,
back in the day. It was the main forum in the community. And I would read guides and tutorials. And my brother was a much better player than me, my little brother. So really, that really another chip on my shoulder. I was like, why are you so good at this game? I would go 1v1 in the wildy and just get wrecked. I would just lose all my stuff. And he was great. He was part of like these clans, and they would, it'd make so much money. He was making between 6 to 10 million RuneScape gold points a day at one point.
wow.
And my idea was, hey, let's sell it. Let's get mom and dad off our backs and let's make some money. We're like 12 years old, and they're like, hey, get off the computer. You're playing this all the time. Do your homework. And I took my parents' credit card, registered runemint.com, and took out a banner ad for $50. I PayPal'd RuneHQ $50 to take out a banner ad that said selling RuneScape gold points, $25 per million. And went to middle school the next day, came home, and we had hundreds of dollars, probably over $300 the first day. Next day, over $500. The next day after that, over $1,000. The next day after that, over $2,000. And it got out of control. We ran out of RuneScape gold points. So I took out another ad saying, we're buying RuneScape gold points for $10. And we started buying for $10, selling for $25. Apparently that's called RWT in the gaming community, real world trading. Had no idea what that was. I'm like 12, man. I'm still learning about life. But hey, this was going so well, and our margin was so great, and we were smart about it, Ryan. Like, we had decoy characters, so our main players never interacted with the customer. We would pass it off to like a brand new player, and then that player would meet you wherever you decided to meet. We'd
That's
meet you,
very
make sure
smart.
you had these, and we'd protect ourselves that way. It was a business, man. I took it seriously. I had a spreadsheet going and everything. Boom, come home from school, knock on the door, my mom's crying, and I'd been sued by
Wow.
Jagex Limited, the multi-billion-dollar company behind RuneScape. I'm terrified. I think I'm going to prison. I didn't know the difference between like civil and criminal at that point. I didn't do anything like criminal, but I was violating their intellectual property. And I had no idea what intellectual property was. I'm 12 years old. So they found out I was 12, and they're like, okay, we'll drop the charges, but we're shutting your business down. They didn't even wait for me to shut the business down. They contacted the hosting company, got a lifetime ban from Yahoo Small Business, lifetime ban from PayPal, lifetime ban from RuneScape, and I'm not even 13 yet. And I was like, holy cow, this really sucks. And this is a decade before Bitcoin. This is literally is 9 years before Bitcoin. So honestly, that really helped set the stage for me 8-9 years later when I did finally discover Bitcoin. I actually discovered Bitcoin almost exactly 10 years after that happened. And I was super early to Bitcoin. I don't think I would have appreciated Bitcoin had that not happened to me. So I'm actually pretty grateful to Jagex Limited. Thanks for scaring the crap out of me and showing me how dangerous it is to have money that someone owns the intellectual property of. Because when I found Bitcoin, and I'm like, wait, there's no Jagex Limited that controls this. This is censorship-free money that is open source and open license, and anyone can use it. I'm like, yes, this is cool. I'll play with this.
That's insane. And
Yeah.
I completely agree with like RuneScape. Yeah, it was a video game, especially back in the day. But it was a great way to get into entrepreneurship early on. Like, I personally never got a membership account. I just didn't have the money. I was young, so I would play free. So I'd have to use little tactics like
Yeah.
collecting flax, selling flax,
Yeah.
selling harpoons, just
Do
silly
you
stuff.
remember how you paid for the membership back in the day?
I
I
know.
was okay. So maybe you were a little bit after me, but the way you paid for the membership, you had to put $5 in an envelope and mail it to a PO box somewhere in like Alabama, and someone would pick it up and mail it to like London or something. It
Wow.
was ridiculous. That's how you paid. There was no like recurring credit card charge. They didn't even have a payment processor. That's how early we were to this game. So like, yeah, I did have the pro account, but it was because like I would take $5 that I made hawking golf balls as another side business, and I would I try to get people Yeah, it would upgrade the accounts. But yeah, I'm happy you know what RuneScape is. A lot of people are like, they look at me like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Gamer, weird game called
Yeah, well,
RuneScape.
when you explain the story, it's pretty crazy because the one sentence on the website definitely doesn't do it justice.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna like I'm
Yeah,
not
whole
gonna say
whole
the whole thing on the
whole
website,
story.
but yeah, no, it's listen, I'm an open book. I'm super transparent about it. It's a big part of like my upbringing, and I think a lot of gamers were some of the earliest adopters of cryptos. So shout out to the gaming community. Yeah, we got a lot of flack growing up from our parents for spending as much time as we did gaming, but I do agree with you. The basic principles of entrepreneurship, leveling up those characters, building a presence in the game, building community, making internet friends. I mean, I would play RuneScape on IRC, like internet relay chat, and meet amazing people in internet relay chat who ended up helping me out in other businesses I started. In a later business I started in college, it was with a guy that I met playing RuneScape on IRC who was an engineer who could help me with some of the bugs I was having because I was a hacker more than I was an engineer. I could put sites together, but he was a full blown programmer. So yeah, highly recommend the community aspect, the networking aspect. There are a lot of amazing people in the gaming community, and you know, don't be down on yourself if you game.
I don't want to get too far off track, but did you happen to ever play Near Reality?
I didn't. No, I
No.
missed that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. So what are you involved in right now? NFT.com, Iconic Holdings, is that everything?
Immutable Holdings,
Oh, I'm so
and
sorry, Immutable
yeah,
Holdings.
listen, I mean, I got to honor my path, right? So after the whole gaming thing happened, I dropped out of school, like didn't finish college, and started a VPN company. I ended up moving to Europe, realized the internet outside the US is a problem. Honestly, my gaming experience helped me with this too, because when you're gaming, you want a low ping to the server to try to get an advantage on the other players. And there were some VPNs that could actually speed up your connection. A lot of people didn't realize this if you could get closer to the game server. So at first it was like, hey, here's a VPN use case for me. I'm living in Budapest. I need to unblock US content while I'm in Budapest, American Netflix library, Hulu, Pandora, the services I like. So I hacked my router and had my router route traffic through DigitalOcean droplets that I would spin up, and ended up being the case that friends would come over and be like, how are you doing this? Can you do this for me? And then it became a software company. It became Buffered VPN. Yeah, that business, this is pre Edward Snowden. So the market for consumer VPNs wasn't that large. Anyway, fast forward, Edward Snowden tells the whole world the government's spying on us. Everybody wants a VPN subscription and a webcam cover. We were notable because we became one of the first consumer software businesses to start taking Bitcoin as a payment method. So that's while I was running Buffered, get into Bitcoin. I sold that business when I was 27 at the beginning of 2017. So that'll give you an idea how old I am now. And decided to go full-time crypto. It was kind of like the subconscious decision. I started reading every white paper in the space, which is how I know Monaco. I made a bunch of early investments, bought Ethereum at $7 with my newfound liquidity, about Litecoin at $4. I was all in, loved Charlie Lee, Litecoin. He's no longer there, but was obsessed with all of these new project founders. And then I ended up moving to New York because I just wanted to be closer to the action. And I meet these two guys who tell me they have this algorithm called Hashgraph. And I take literally all of my chips and I put them in the middle. And I'm like, I'm all in. This Hashgraph thing is crazy. I got to do this. So I was like the fourth person at the company. There was no one else there. At first, I came to the project as an investor. I would literally pick up expenses on my credit card and things of that nature. And then, was like, hey, we got to do a public network on this Hashgraph thing. And that's today called Hedera Hashgraph. HBAR is like a top 40 coin in the world. The first unicorn I've been fortunate enough to be part of and be part of the founding team of. And that's amazing. Definitely not my last. NFT.com will be the next one. Or I'll die trying. Yeah, it was a blast. So I did that for 4 years. My job at Hedera was I led our go-to-market on the enterprise council recruitment side, which was we needed a governing council. We needed a DAO, an enterprise DAO. And no one was talking about DAOs in 2017, but our model was, yeah, there's a lot of decentralization around computing power, but there's not decentralization of governance. There's two levels of decentralization. Decentralized nodes on the network, but you need decentralized decision making on who controls the code base. And our model was, hey, why don't we invite Google, IBM, Boeing, Deutsche Telekom, Nomura, the biggest companies in the world, to do it? So listen, I'm a 27-year-old kid from Buffalo, New York, without a college degree, sitting in a boardroom in a suit I bought at like Macy's, pitching Thomas Curry and the 22-year president of of Oracle under Larry Ellison, who's now the CEO of Google Cloud.
Wow.
And I got no credentials to be in the room. I've got my RuneScape credentials, and I'm pitching him on why he should join the Hedera Governing Council. Absolute ridiculousness, right? So that was an absolute blast. Got to do that for a while, and it was a lot of fun, and ended up leaving Hedera really to do what we're doing now, which is, when you talk about immutable holdings, when you talk about what our vision is to build one. Immutable is our Web3 venture studio. I'm all in on this space. No amount of money I could possibly make would change what I do on a day-to-day basis, which is I love building really great products with really great people. And I think it's unbelievably exciting how many opportunities there are to drastically improve the user experience. For people who are like in Web3, in DeFi or in NFTs today, I would compare it to logging into the internet and trying to send an email in 1994, 1995. It could take you 10 minutes. It was expensive to do so. Not everyone even had an email account back then. The same is true here, right? It's a burdensome user experience. We're not at the mass adoption phase where you can onboard a new user for under $5 in under 5 minutes. And I think that'll come. Hopefully NFT.com is part of that. But I think, the exciting opportunity is to take new tooling and new stuff to market. I love that you've worked with crypto.com because it's another one of my chips. Yes, I tried to buy that domain name. Yes, I lost it. When I got this one, I absolutely knew we were going to make this as big as NFT.com. And how cool would it be if we could do it, but as a DAO, do it as a community of people? And what if we could rally a decentralized community of people behind making this so big that we collectively are also deciding? Now, it's not Jordan Free deciding, but it's us, the DAO, deciding to put the naming rights of this brand on the side of a stadium. That would be dope. That would be insane. I would love to do that. I'm part of a couple other DAOs right now. Links DAO, there's like WagMe United DAO. I'm not part of that one, but I'm kind of jealous because I want to join that one. They're trying to buy, it's a DAO trying to buy an English football club. There's Kraus House DAO trying to buy the Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of DAOs organizing around these ideas. Buy a golf course, buy a football club. What if there's a DAO to launch a new OpenSea competitor, a DAO to launch a new marketplace, a new social Web3 social community? That's exciting. That's what we're launching with NFT.com. And, hey, that's what we're launching on April 26th in 4 days. So super excited to get it out there.
That's amazing.
Thanks, man.
You kill it. You kill it with your explanations. So
appreciate it.
So for the people out there that they don't have a full understanding of the ins and outs of all the crypto terminology and everything, what would you say NFT.com is right now? What you expect it to be down the road, and also what makes you guys stand out from all the other NFT startups out there, all the noise, because there is a lot of noise. And at least me personally, I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't look at much NFT stuff just because it's hard to know where to look, and the majority usually, unfortunately, flops.
Yes. So where we are right now, we are pre-launch. We're in what I call the Genesis period. For those that know, January 3rd, 2009, Bitcoin Genesis block. That's the funky little message in the Genesis block. If you don't know, fun fact, you'll sound smart at a cocktail party if you say so. There's a hidden message in the Bitcoin Genesis block. Ryan, I hope all of your followers know this, but it says Chancellor on brink of second bailout. It's really cool. It's the cover of the Times newspaper. It's awesome. We need the Genesis block of NFT.com. We need to Genesis this community. We need to start it. We need to birth it. And we need to do that together. It can't just be Jordan launching it. Crypto is about communities. It's about users of communities. So our idea for how to launch NFT.com is not to do the Web 2 way. Ryan, the Web 2 way is give us your email, your password, and click this box that says you opt to give us the right to mine your data every day for the rest of your life, and then sell that data to big multinational companies that want to advertise to you, right? And then the economic incentive for the people behind these platforms, the owners of these companies, want to create these addictive platforms that give you dopamine hits, so you're more and more addicted to Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all of these tools that you're using, so you give them more data so that they can make more money. Bad idea. We don't want to go down that path. Web3 is different. We have better technology now. We can use that better technology to create better, more benevolent experiences and totally alter the relationship that the user has with the platforms that they use. Thus, the genesis of NFT.com. We're starting with what we call a Genesis key. You can kind of see where the name comes from, Genesis, right? The beginning. Genesis, the Genesis key is literally when you get it, there's only 10,000 of them in the world. When you get a Genesis key, it makes you a forever co-founder of the NFTcom community for as long as you hold it. Because Ryan, it's an NFT. It's an ERC 721 NFT that you can go sell if you want to go sell it. You no longer have to be there. But whoever else has that, they're now a co-founder of the NFT.com community, and they have governance rights. That key will give you 2 profiles in NFT.com. You can get NFT.com/crypto fiend. You can get NFT.com/Ryan. It literally unlocks your user journey and your user experience with the platform. That page, that credential, that NFT.com/Ryan, that first is your login credential. No more username and password. You log into NFT.com with that token. So when we check it, it's in your wallet. If it's in your wallet, you can modify that page. That page is your profile. If you're it's your gallery. If you're a collector, it's your storefront. If you're a creator, so you may display your NFTs there or display the stuff that you have for sale. And it all integrates into a totally decentralized marketplace where it's not Jordan Freed and A16Z making decisions because there are no VCs here. It's us, the community. We decide what the fee is. We decide where that fee goes. We make decisions on the feature set. Hey, do we just support Ethereum NFTs at launch? And full disclosure, we do. But should we support Solana NFTs or Hedera Hashgraph NFTs or Polkadot or Polygon or Algorand or Avalanche NFTs? We make those decisions together. There's no dictator like Jordan that goes to do that. It's all of us together collectively, right? I think that's so important. That's so exciting. How are we different? How are we different? We're different in a million ways. One, Ryan, there's no rug pull here. It's a fully doxed team. I'm sitting here in Puerto Rico. I'm sitting here in my office in San Juan. If you Google it enough, you'll figure out where the office is. We're doxed, man. We're not anonymous. I don't hide behind my doodle. Shout out to Doodle 9724. I did memorize that. I do love my doodle. But I'm not operating as an anonymous doodle. My Twitter handle could easily be doodle9724. I operate as a public person who is out there spreading the word that, honestly, I think it's a really important message. The internet in its current form is flawed. We as users can have better relationships with the platforms. It starts with the NFT.com Genesis key that enables you to mint your profile, and you own your presence. You are a decision maker in that community. So yes, we're trying to build a differentiated, better OpenSea. Yes, we're trying to solve the creator problems on OpenSea. And let me just tell you what that is right now. A creator on OpenSea doesn't have an account manager. They don't have a direct line to the CEO and CTO. They don't vest equity or options. They don't even earn loyalty points or a token for all that they contribute to this ecosystem. Ryan, you earn more. You get more from American Airlines and United and JetBlue when you fly on their planes than you do by using OpenSea. Okay? Literally, think about it. Break it down for a second. Yet the doodles and the apes and all of these collections, the CryptoPunks and Artifact Clone X and the World of Women collection, these projects drive hundreds of thousands of ETH in transaction volume on OpenSea, where OpenSea taxes them as a rent seeker at 2.5%, right? 2.5%. That has allowed OpenSea to raise $300 million recently at a 13.3 billion post-money valuation. None of that belongs to the creators that help them get there. None of that. There is a better way to architect the relationship with the platforms. We as creators, we as users of platforms have been disenfranchised and left without a voice for too long. Ryan, you're a YouTuber, okay? There's a lot of other YouTubers out there. And I think you've been on YouTube long enough to remember demonetization, right? Demonetization was when YouTube unilaterally, without ever consulting creators, changed their algorithm and arbitrarily videos would get demonetized. Now, there's an entire economy of creators like you that depend on YouTube for an income, that literally depend on it for that ad share because their videos get impressions, you get views. And when YouTube makes a change and those creators all of a sudden lose half of their income, some of them are stay-at-home moms. Some of them are stay-at-home dads. Some of them are just people trying to support their kids and their families. And YouTube takes that revenue away. Those creators need a voice. Those creators need to be empowered. The way that we did things in Web 2 has to stop. And we finally, for the first time in human history, blockchain technology, what we call Web3, can enable creators to, one, be back in control through these DAO governance models, two, be empowered, and three, even if you don't give a shit about anything I just said and you don't care about governance, you know you have the insurance policy there in the event that something happens. I don't need you to show up to every governance vote. I don't need you to make every decision in the entire community. My team and I can execute pretty well. We've built a couple really exciting companies. I won't talk about them all here. You can go look those up. So if you trust us and you like this vision, join us. But if you get upset about something we do, your insurance policies, you can take it to the DAO and you can say, Jordan, no, or NFT.com team, no, this is the way it's going to be. And creators are in control, solidarity with the creators. That's the way the internet should be working. It shouldn't be some sociopathic billionaire in his late 30s deplatforming a sitting president, regardless of what your politics are. No one expected that one tech CEO, Jack Dorsey, could get more powerful and deplatform a sitting president. There is a better way. We will get there. And NFT.com is the first of what I believe will be an entire wave of new platforms that opt for these new governance structures. So that's where we are. That's how we're different. Doc's team, creators first, totally different economics for creators. And I'm excited to share more about that, but I'll have to wait till after the Genesis key sale to talk more about that. But if you like anything about what I'm saying, because I know we're about to run out of time, April 26th, if you join our whitelist now, NFT.com, click join the whitelist. You just need to whitelist your Ethereum address and your email, and follow us on Twitter and Discord while you're at it. You will be able to bid on a Genesis key. 3,000 Genesis keys go in a blind auction. The remaining go in a public sale. You determine the price. This isn't Moonbirds. I'm not picking a price. I'm not saying floor is 2.5.
Moonbirds.
You pick the price. If you think, yeah, go ahead.
I can't believe Moonbirds took off the way it did out of nowhere. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, I can tell you a couple of reasons why. That nesting mechanic really does create a lot of scarcity there. So, there's some interesting token economics there. But our mechanic, guys, it's super easy. Anyone on the whitelist can bid. The top 3,000 are going to win a key. They're going to pay the price of the first loser. That's the 3,000 and first bid. Everybody's going to pay the same price. Everybody is going to pay less than what they bid. Pretty exciting, I think. The median of that becomes the purchase of the public sale. The 3,000 and first bid is the price of the private sale. So the 1,500th bid is the price of the public sale. The 3,000 and first bid is of the whitelist sale. We don't pick that price. If you want to go bid 10 ETH, great. If you want to bid 5 ETH, great. Okay, it's up to you for what you bid, but everybody's paying the same price in the whitelist sale. Everybody's paying the same price in the public, or I should say whitelist auction public sale. So April 26th, that's the date. Mark it in your calendars and come join us. If you like this vision, hey, if you don't like this vision, you want to change it, also come join us. We need the contrarian voice. We need the people who disagree with me to come help shape NFT.com.
That's a phenomenal structure. I've never heard of that before when it comes to the bidding, and then the 3,000th and 1th is what the price would be. That's phenomenal.
Came from someone in the Ether Rock community. Someone in the Ether Rock community suggested it. We adopted it. But shout out to Brian if you're listening to this. I won't fully dox him, but super, super helpful coming up with the mechanic.
Well, Jordan, you definitely sold it to me. There's truly not too many NFT projects that catch my interest, and you guys definitely have it. Thank you so much for coming on. Like Jordan said, if you guys would like to follow along with NFT.com, Discord, are you guys on Telegram as well?
We're not on Telegram, but we've got a huge Discord community. I think we just passed 35,000. So join us on Discord.
Perfect. Discord and Twitter as well. Jordan, thank you so much. Any last words to everyone watching?
Live long and prosper.
I love that. I love
Thanks,
it.
man. Really appreciate the time.